Very nice
viewers
meeting
on the
you.
program. Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Hello everybody, this is ACLOWE. We're back on the air here at the City World Radio Network. We broadcast to you live, I say live, every Monday night. Every single Monday night at the City World Radio Network. I'm going to ask Laurie Snyder to come back into the, Laurie, going to come back into the shot. Okay, she's doing her, she went to the dressing room for a minute. Okay. We're back here and we're going to continue the Bill Russo show for another 7 minutes. And we're talking with Dina Wilcox. And one of the things I want to talk about is not just the physical strength that you find, but actually, in my mind, you have to find spiritual and emotional strength, which I think is much more difficult than physical strength.
For a couple of reasons.
And what do you think those reasons are?
Well, I think in part it's because we, as a society, as a culture, as a society in this country, I don't want to speak of where I know, don't value the spiritual side. We're nervous about it, we're uncomfortable with it, and so we don't emphasize it. But I think that it is ultimately the most important side, because that's fundamentally what it means to be a human.
Yes, and you said how marvelous it is to be a human being. And we find that out almost only in duress. Everyone's seeking happiness and joy, and that's fine. I think that everyone wants that. But sometimes in duress, there can be great beauty when people, because really, and I think we talked about this on the other program, when you were on my program once before, and we talked about it before the show this evening, really, it involves sacrifice. And sacrifice is a word that people don't want to hear most often. I know I don't, and yet I'm in the midst of it for a very long time, and I have done it before, and so have you, and so have millions of other people. Sacrifice is the most difficult thing, but it's also a very beautiful thing. A very beautiful thing, and there are many authors have covered this topic ad nauseum, so you and I will talk about it here a little bit. But I think that that's the hardest part, the emotional part.
I wanted to say to Bill before that one of the positive things that for me came out of the experience was that now at this distance, though it was certainly not something I chose, I wouldn't have ever chosen to lose my husband, but it feels to me like such an extraordinary gift for my life to have had that experience.
Well, it changes your perspective about everything.
About everything.
Yeah. As you're aware, and many people are who listen to this program regularly, I've done this once before. My first wife, I took care of her for several years before she passed on. And that whole experience in life, and in other people that have the same thing, and people that are in more tragic circumstances, in war, in famine, in all kinds of circumstances, that's where, and what you said, it really touched me, Dina, that's where the humanity comes into play. And humanity is what we're supposed to be about.
Oftentimes humanity, like spiritual things, are downplayed because if you're just human, there's a lot of weakness, perceived weakness. I think there's a lot of strength.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately there's more
kindness
strength.
is always perceived as weakness by some.
That's true.
If someone's kind and you consider, say, boy, this guy's a fool, I'll take advantage.
Right.
Unfortunately, this happens all too often. And to be fair, we're probably all guilty of it at one time or another, although we may have no intention to be. It may work out that way sometimes. But your book, again, I think it bears repeating because we're going to run short here.
We're on YouTube, right?
Yeah, we are, absolutely.
This is a good man. Good man. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dina. Thank you, Laurie.
You're welcome.
Just say again, because it's going to be tomorrow, so I want to get that in again.
Oh yes, thank you. The book signing, and I'll be reading from the book as well. The book is Why Do I Feel This Way? What Your Feelings Are Trying to Tell You. And the signing tomorrow is at Blue Stockings at 172 Allen Street on the Lower East Side.
Blue Stockings, 172 Allen Street on the east side. If you're not there, you're square. You're going to be there tomorrow.
There's a great coffee bar there too, I have to say. So
wow, then that's even more great. What time? Say the time again?
7 to 9.
172 Allen Street?
Yes.
Okay, we've got to be there. Again, we're going to run out of time as we always do. Lloyd, thank you very much for coming here to be on our program.
You're very welcome.
At some point going forward, I want to invite you on my show, which is also on Monday night.
Oh, really?
at 7 p.m. at the same exact time, same exact place, same bat time, same bat channel, like Batman used to say.
It was
And
wonderful meeting you. I ran off because my phone was ringing and it wasn't on
I
mute, and I
understand.
wanted to.
I understand. Well, it's
shut
okay.
it.
It's okay. It's not a problem because we don't have any dead air here at the ACLOWE Bill
Oh,
Russo
okay.
show.
I thought there was. I
No,
thought we
no
were
dead
off,
air. No
so.
dead air. We have to. Well, when the music stops, we have to break
Yeah.
gas
Oh,
again.
okay.
But you were saying about finding your inner self,
Yes.
and finding your inner self is probably a lifelong pursuit. I would guess because we're all in one way or another trying to do that.
It's total lifelong. I work with a lot of seniors. I do a lot of deep, I do many workshops and many discussion groups with seniors on a daily basis. And when you were talking about war and situations that people have been in, I sit with veterans and I do workshops with these veterans who have literally been dropped off in an island in Japan with rations of food on their back. And I'm sitting and I'm talking to these very blessed, healthy, coherent 90-year-olds about being dropped off in Japan, swimming to shore, grabbing food rations from the planes coming down and all the horrific things that they dealt with. And it's amazing. You talk about strength. At the time that it's most needed, sometimes inner strength just comes to you like that. It just is there, and you grasp it. And people. I've spoken with parents, 90-year-old parents who've lost children, and they're still there, and a sadness that never goes away. But they tap into a certain strength that brings them to the next step. So I do a lot of that work with seniors, and it's very rewarding. I absolutely love it. But I feel so blessed because they are such extraordinary, wonderful people.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. As usual, we run out of time. The guy who runs, whoever's running this show doesn't know what the hell he's doing because if he knew how to run the show, he wouldn't run out of time. So I want to extend my invitation to you to return. I'll send you some dates.
Okay.
Dina will be back with me next week, which is, I believe, the 15th of July. We'll be back next week, and I have several other guests. I have my contributing host, Star Davis, the actress, will be with me, and she's bringing someone. Star Davis is also editor-in-chief of You Can magazine, and she's bringing a guest with her as well for her to interview. So, what can I say? On behalf of Bill Russo, my partner Bill Russo, on behalf of City World Radio Network and the Fab Intro Production Corporation, from New York, good night and thank you.
Good night.
That's my phone.
Oh,
It's a ritual with me.
So I did get a little bit about the seniors in there.
Good, good, good.